Well, they've changed the sign. It now reads Mayor Jason House. Yep, Jason's in charge now. What a turnaround, right? As for Tiffany, it's a wrap. She's not the supervisor, not the mayor, and definitely not a star. Honestly, with how things are going, she might not even be a free woman soon. Tiffany's reign in Dolan is over. She's just a regular citizen now, probably driving a Honda Civic like the rest of us. Think she'll still pop into city meetings? Let me know in the comments. It's truly the end of an era. Her signs are coming down. Every single one. No more Mayor Tiffany Henyard anywhere. It's all being wiped clean. Feels kind of surreal. She used to brag about those signs. Would drive by them with her daughter like, "Look, baby, you too can grow up to be a corrupt mayor. Just dream big. And maybe steal a little." She used to joke that big dreams could land you a visit from the feds. Well, here we are. Now it's Jason House's turn. Talk about a plot twist. The switch-up? Honestly poetic. But let's not forget, Tiffany was out here always talking about burying people's loved ones. Like, girl, what? She called it good deeds, but let's be honest, it sounded more like creepy side quests. Always talking about funerals and burning stuff. Where was she even finding all these loved ones? Tiffany was giving straight-up Undertaker vibes. Like, seriously, calm down. No one asked you to become the town's Grim Reaper. I mean, seriously, is Tiffany offering to bury people's grandpas now? Like, is he bothering you? Asking too many questions? Want me to take care of that for you? Because the way she keeps talking about burying folks, it's starting to sound less like a figure of speech and more like a business pitch. What exactly is going on here? It's giving side hustle energy, like she's got a whole operation, running on the low. Welcome to Tiffany's graveyard, where your final resting place is personally managed by the one and only. She's out here claiming cemeteries like real estate. She might as well have said, "This cemetery? Yeah, that's mine. You got a loved one that needs burying? I got you, and I wish I was joking, but have you seen the sign? Thornton Township Cemetery, and right underneath, bold as day, Tiffany A. Henyard, supervisor. So what now? Is she the supervisor of souls? The CEO of Final Goodbyes? It honestly feels like this woman has turned public service into a private cemetery gig. The way that sign reads, you'd think she was personally out there planting headstones and handing out grave plots like party favors. I mean, should we call her up and ask for a quote? "Hey, Tiffany, I've got someone for you. You still taking clients?" It's unhinged. And the wildest part is, she's been talking about burying people's loved ones for years, like it's just casual dinner conversation. And now? Now there's a literal sign backing up the madness. I wouldn't be shocked if she's out there, with a shovel in hand saying, "I buried your grandma, your uncle, your neighbor. Oh, and you? Didn't know you made it out." This is the kind of stuff that writes its own jokes. You can't keep making public comments about burying people, and then have your name on the front gate of a cemetery and expect people not to connect the dots. It's giving Undertaker. It's giving, "I don't flinch in graveyards." Tiffany walks through a cemetery like she owns the joint, because apparently she does. There's no way she gets the creeps from a crematorium. She probably calls it her second office. At this point, she's got the vibe of someone who knows exactly where everyone's buried, and she's not taking notes. It's wild, it's unsettling, and honestly, Tiffany girl, do better. Now, Tiffany, if you're seriously on the hunt for a new gig, let's be real. There's a whole booming industry you might have accidentally auditioned for without even realizing it. Funeral services. Think about it. People are always dying, and that's one job that never runs out of clients. You've spent so much time talking about burying folks' loved ones, maybe it's time to turn those strange monologues into a career move. This could be your calling. Picture it. You walk into a funeral home, grief all over your face, and there's Tiffany at the front desk with that familiar grin, hands folded, ready to guide you through your casket-ready needs. She'd probably have pamphlets, packages, and a loyalty program. That's the energy she's giving. Not mayoral leadership, not civic responsibility. No, Tiffany's got the vibe of someone who moonlights as the keeper of the underworld. And let's not even get started on that cemetery sign. Most signs list the operating hours or maybe a keep off the grass notice. But this one? Bold, Front and center, Thornton Township Cemetery, Supervisor Tiffany Henyard. It doesn't even try to be subtle. That sign doesn't say, "Here lies our loved ones." It says, "Tiffany runs this graveyard too." At this point, if there's a vending machine in Thornton Township, I wouldn't be surprised to see her name etched into it. This Coke machine brought to you by Supervisor Tiffany Henyard. It's like she's personally supervising every bolt, bench, and blade of grass in the township. And the wildest part? This isn't new. Let's roll back to 2018 when Tiffany was a trustee in the village of Dolton. Back then, her favorite hobby wasn't gardening or community outreach. It was dragging the mayor at every opportunity. She gave him such a hard time, not because she had better solutions, but because she wanted that seat so bad. She wanted the title, the power, the gavel. But here's the thing. When you fight that hard for a position, you better be ready to lead. Tiffany just wanted the crown, not the responsibility that came with it. And what makes it worse is she already knew how the system worked. As a former trustee, she knew what trustees were supposed to do: hold power accountable, make smart decisions, ensure fairness. But once she got the big chair, she expected everyone to sit down, shut up, and rubber stamp every reckless move she made. Hiring people with no background checks, surrounding herself with folks who had rap sheets longer than resumes, and turning public offices into private playgrounds. Tiffany didn't want to govern. She wanted control without consequences. And now? She's got her name on the cemetery gates and her fingerprints all over a mess she created. This is what Tiffany's been doing from the very beginning, placing her name on everything, using public spaces to craft a personal legacy. But none of this should come as a surprise now that the signs are changing and her name is being taken down. It's almost symbolic, really. She's probably standing there, looking up at that building she once claimed as her own, realizing the new sign doesn't say Tiffany Henyard anymore. It says Mayor Jason House. And if I had to take a guess, that old ice rink is next. You know, the one that barely had any actual ice? Yeah, that sad excuse for a skating rink that was never really maintained, just like everything else, under her leadership. The whole thing was crumbling, more of a showpiece than a real facility. And all of it, every corner of it, just so she could turn to her daughter and say, "I named this after you." It was never really about the town. It was about Tiffany proving to her kid that she was important, that she had power, that she could put her name on a building and call it legacy. It's almost funny in a tragic way. Speaking of legacy, remember those board meeting clips? I noticed something small but telling. Back then, Tiffany used to wear her part on the other side of her head. Not a flipped video, not a camera trick. That was just how she wore it. A small detail, sure, but it shows how even her image, like her role, has flipped completely. Now, it's all over. Tiffany's not the mayor anymore. She's not the supervisor. She's not the super mayor. She's not even the superstar in her own story. That spotlight has gone dim, and Mayor Jason House has stepped in. What's left now is just Tiffany, a regular civilian driving a Honda Civic through the same streets she used to govern. That's the new reality. I wouldn't even be shocked if she tried to grab one of those old signs with her name on it before they tossed it. I can totally picture her hanging it up inside her house, maybe even right on the front door just to remind herself, and anyone who walks by, that she once ran this town. It's the end of an era, no doubt about it. She had her 4 years of glory, 4 years to shape a name for herself, and instead, she burned every ounce of credibility she had. But here's the thing that keeps sticking in my mind. Do you think she'll still show up to those public meetings? I mean, now that she's been stripped of her titles, will she really fade into the background? Or will she pull up to the town hall, park that Civic, walk right in, and sit among the citizens like nothing's changed? Imagine her there in the audience, arms crossed, waiting for her chance to speak up and stir the pot. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. Tiffany might be reckless, but one thing she's not is a coward. She's bold enough to walk into that room alone, no security detail, no fancy entourage, just her in that Civic, head held high like she's still running things. She always acted like she needed protection, like she was royalty, but the truth is that was just another performance. Deep down, she never needed bodyguards. She just needed people to see her as powerful. But now that the show is over, now that the crown's been taken away, she's going to have to remember how to live like everyone else. No drivers, no escorts, no name on the building, just Tiffany trying to find her way back into civilian life, and maybe learning how to drive herself again in the process.